it. I better give some backup on it. So I mentioned in one of my last videos that the dean of students at U of I resigned, and I said it was 4 months, I think. I beg to differ. It was 2 months into the job. So University of Idaho dean resigns 2 months into the job. Craig Chatrand says decision prompted by safety concerns and issues over handling of frat hazing. So this was in 2015, you guys. Can imagine how much it's escalated at this point, since they don't, this guy quit because he couldn't handle it. After 2 months, you guys, that's crazy. I mean, more power to him standing up, for that kind of thing, but let me see if this thing right here works. Let me see what it says.
Moscow, University of Idaho Dean of Students Craig Chatrand has decided to resign after 2 months, saying he no longer believes UI is an environment where he can work to address student safety. Chatrand's resignation letter was submitted Monday to Vice Provost for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management Gene Kim to be effective next Monday. He said Tuesday afternoon his decision was related to... Just a quick word from our sponsor.
Oh,
As a major research institution, Arizona State University offers the most...
Well, screw that. Sorry. Okay, where do you leave off? He said Tuesday afternoon his decision was related to a situation involving the U of I chapter of the Pi Gamma Delta, or Fiji, fraternity that occurred last month. He was promoted from Associate Dean of Students to the position following the retirement of long-time Dean of Students, Vice Provost, and Dean of Students and Vice Provost for Student Affairs, Bruce Pittman. Pittman retired in early January after more than 41 years at the U of I. He must have had that mentality, that other guy, to stay on there. It must take a lot, you guys. U of I was made aware of hazing allegations at the fraternity February 12th, and the Dean of Students office initiated an investigation. U of I spokeswoman Stephanie Bales said the office presented the fraternity with a list of sanctions about a week later that the fraternity accepted, she said. The fraternity later sought to withdraw its acceptance of the sanctions in order to have the investigation reviewed by the university's Greek Community Standard Board. Listen to this, you guys, it's crazy. U of I interim Provost Catherine Aiken agreed to the request for withdrawal, leaving recommendations to the standards boards on how to proceed with the results of the investigation. Bales said a time and date for when the board would convene has not been set. Chatrand was unable to go into specifics of the situation related to his departure because it is an ongoing investigation, but said he doesn't believe U of I is an environment where he can manage student safety as his most important concern. Not being able to address what I think is the most important task in my office, I've decided to resign, Chatrand said on Tuesday. The Dean of Students' office has worked for the past several years to address a range of concerns regarding student safety, including excessive alcohol consumption and bystander prevention. Well, that's weird. Bystander, I wonder what that is. The university has also been criticized over concerns for student safety when it failed to alert students of 2 shootings near campus until after the situations were resolved. There you go. You don't call, remember? Just like at the Idaho Floor House. UI set out alerts the morning after graduate student Katie Bonneau was murdered outside of her home by former UI associate Professor Ernesto A. Bustamante in 2011. The university also delayed notifying students of the reported shooting spree January 10th in Moscow that left 3 people dead and a 4th one injured. Wow. Do you guys want to hear something a little before I read on? Caden Young wrote a very, very beautiful article about Katie. He wrote a lot of very beautiful articles. I'm going to get them all together and get them put together one of these days. That's what I've been working on. I've been working on obituaries for, a memorial. What do you want to call it? Anyway, just something on all of the kids that have passed. And it's a little tough because I'm finding out things that's not been shared with us. We've been lied to about all of this stuff. It's just sick. Anyway, back to business here. So, in Moscow, it left 3 people dead and a 4th injured. Chadron said he thought it was appropriate to step down given his feelings surrounding the concerns for student safety. The decision wasn't made lightly, and he felt no pressure from the university to resign, Chadron said, adding that the choice was an incredibly difficult one for him. It's a decision that I put a great deal of thought into over the weekend. I love University of Idaho students, he said, because I love them, but I don't love them. Aiken said UI is discussing how to handle Chadron's departure, and officials have not determined if there will be an interim dean appointed or who it would be. She learned of his resignation Monday morning, but had not spoken to Chadron personally about his reason for leaving. I was sorry to learn of his resignation, Aiken said. So there you have it, you guys. A little crazy, huh? Let me see if I think there's another one in here. Hold on. So the one I'm looking for is, the sanctions they dropped whatever they agreed to and had it to where they would go up in front of the board. And, what they did was what they did is they gathered a board of all alumni and it was voted, and they didn't have to do anything. That's crazy. I don't know if this one is it or not, though. I'm kind of stuffed up a little bit tonight. We've got a bunch of fires around here right now, again. No, this might not be the one. Let me see. UI to redo investigation of, Fiji hazing allegations. University of Idaho Dean Students Craig Chatter confirmed Monday he will resign from the university effective March 9th. Chatter said his decision came with the conflict could not be resolved with the alumni of the Pi Gamma Delta fraternity, more commonly known as Fiji. Fiji lawyer John Bradbury, well, there's your problem right there. No, just kidding. Great writer, by the way, author, confirmed Monday that sanctions previously levied against the House by the Dean of Students' office had been dropped, and the incident that led to them would be re-investigated. In his role as Dean of Students, Chatter oversees the Greek Advisory Office. The Dean of Students' office confirmed last week that Fiji had been sanctioned by the Greek office following an investigation of hazing allegations. Greek advisor Brittany, that's not a good last name, Bowles, I'll say Bowles, declined comment last week on the individuals involved or the details of the allegations, but the Fiji House leadership accepted the sanctions imposed February 19th by the Dean of Students' office. Despite the House initial acceptance of the sanctions, Fiji continued to explore options relating to the sanctions and the process by which they were arrived, containing interim provost and executive vice president Catherine Aiken. We were extremely disappointed in how this process was handled, Bradbury said. Bradbury said the university's new investigation will begin with review from the Greek Community Standards Board. Aiken declined to comment on either investigation or the removal of the sanctions. She said she was informed of Chatter's resignation by his supervisor, Jean Kim, vice provost for student affairs and enrollment management. Kim did not return a request for comment on the situation as of press time. I have been grateful for his service, Aiken said. Chatter would not discuss details of the initial investigation, but said he believed he was not being allowed to do the job the way he saw fit. There are situations that involve campus safety that I am not able to address in the way that need to be addressed. It's better to have a person in the seat who can do that more effectively than I have been able to. Chatter took over the position at the beginning of January following the retirement of a long-term... I already read that part. Chatter said he will work through the end of the week and wrap up any loose ends related to his job. I have enjoyed working with the U of I students tremendously. I've enjoyed the colleagues and opportunities available here, but when we feel we can't do the foundational work of our job, it's time to step away and let someone else try. Excuse me. I tried to find that other one for you, but I couldn't find it, so I came up on this one. Students striving to combat Greek stigma. May 3rd, 2015. Greek students at U of I feel the effects of the few making bad choices here and on other campuses across the country affect their effort to be good role models. Moscow Greek students at the University of Idaho and Washington State University are frustrated. They are frustrated that one bad incident reflects poorly on the entire community. They are frustrated that the decision of a single individual or even a specific chapter on a campus in a different state lumps every member of all Greek organizations together. You know what? I wonder what happened on this 2015. Now I'm really curious. And they are frustrated that the actions of some on their own campus can negate all of the positive things members contribute to the campus and to society as a whole. It's honestly just frustrating, says Becca, UI's Panhellenic Council President. Jeez. Papineau, 21, of Moscow, said she strives to get good grades, be active on campus, and live by the values of her sorority Kappa Alpha Beta. And she knows she's not alone. Greek organizations across the country devote time, energy, and resources to encourage academic achievement, hone leadership skills, develop quality employees for the professional world, and create positively contributing citizens through a number of philanthropic. You want to give me any more words to say? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I can say that one. And Snuffleupagus. I like that guy. Okay, I'm gonna pass by that one. You guys know what it said, right? What's that about the fight? Oh, no. But these aspects of the Greek system have been overshadowed by recent incidents involving hazing, sexual assault, and use of racial slurs. God, I can't talk today. And chants at campuses across nation UI and Wazoo included. One person might do one bad thing, but what are all the other people doing? They're doing good things, but they are not put in the news. No. What's been happening? The Moscow Police Department and U of I officials have spent months investigating allegations of hazing at the Pi Gamma Delta fraternity, commonly known as Fiji. Ooh. The hazing allegations eventually led to the March resignation of U of I's newly appointed Dean of Students, Craig Chatterin. Chatterin said he was quitting because he felt U of I was no longer an environment where he could address student safety. Moscow Chief Police David Duke said that the criminal investigation was initiated in March after university officials provided his department with a multiple-page letter with allegations of hazing by sleep deprivation. Oh, shit, that's not all they did. Are you kidding me? Is he going to believe that? That's all? Sleep deprivation, keeping him awake? Bullshit. The investigation showed the reported actions failed to meet the elements of hazing defined in state statute, Duke said, and was closed without any charges filed. There you have it, you guys. The Dean of Students has left the building. For good cause. UI's Greek Community Standard Board is reviewing an internal investigation report on the incident and proposed sanctions, said University spokesman Stephanie Bales. Once the review is complete, the board will make a determination and forward recommendations to Catherine Aiken, who will determine what, if any, actions should be taken by the university. At Wazoo, officials are investigating allegations that a former Pi Delta Theta member made racist and sexist remarks to a woman who attempted to attend a party at the fraternity in February. Wazoo Director of Student Conduct, Adam Jessel, said the initial investigation into the incident has been done and it is now in the conduct process, which involves an appeal period and can take up to 2 months. Of course. Oh, those are cool shorts. I like those. The student, don't you turn on me. Okay, I thought the page was going to go up for just that. The student was removed from the fraternity following the incident. A reaction, Wazoo in Fraternity Council President Zach Cherif said, shows the values of the overall Greek system more than the comments of that particular individual. I think that speaks so much louder than what he did. While a challenge Greek leaders at UI and Wazoo are working to better communicate their message and combat negative publicity and stereotypes. That includes discussing national incidents like racist chants sung by members of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon at the University of Oklahoma and allegations that Kappa Delta Rho members at Penn State posted photos on Facebook of nude or partly nude women, some even appearing asleep or passed out. The intent is to remind members of their values and curb the risk of future incidents. I think one of the hardest things is trying to prove ourselves. Underrepresented positives. The lifestyle portrayed in movies like Animal House and even the recently released Neighbors isn't an accurate reflection of what it's like to be in a fraternity or sorority, said Wazoo Jr. Taylor Christensen. And it doesn't really show the values they hold important. Christensen Wazoo's Panhellenic Council, I know I said it wrong, oh well. Council President said stereotypes like excessive drinking only care about social life and the idea that for some that the reason for joining a Greek house is to pay for friends were developed in the 1980s and continue today. But she said Greek students care more about doing well in school, being involved on campus and in the local community, and developing skills to help them after college. The 21-year-old Spokane native said in high school she was a member of the associated student body and played sports, and she knew she wanted to carry that momentum into college. Becoming a member of the Greek system gave her a way to do that, as well as establish a network of mentors in the alumni of her sorority Kappa Alpha Theta. She has also pushed herself to take on challenges and move into leadership roles in her sorority and outside it by surrounding herself with the women in her house, seeing other women in her sorority take advantage of so many opportunities creates a positive environment and the realization that pushing herself is doable. You just see everyone else around you succeeding and you just want to take it on full force. This is a focus on academic success, and while each chapter has its own way of handling it, the system places a priority and standard on doing well in school, says Sheriff 21 of Kirkland, Washington. The organizations offer support and structure to help students do well in school, either by having other students around to ask questions or having a set student time for homework. Sheriff said that structure helped him transition into college and how he learned to manage his time. I am very, very proud, he said, that what I know now is because of what I was taught then. Why does it happen? The challenge that faces Wazoo Greek system is a lack of unity, and that's demonstrated when a negative incident occurs. There are historical rivalries between different fraternities and sororities, Sheriff said, which shows there isn't consistency to the positive aspects of Greek life. The Interfraternity Council is trying to foster the concept of overall unity by reminding sorority. Hey, we got a brister, brother to sister. We got a sorority. Oh my God. Unity by reminding fraternity members they're always wearing their letters. Oh my gosh. The racist sexist remarks allegedly made by the former Pi Theta Delta member will never be ethically or morally okay, and they don't reflect the values of the fraternity. But he said, seeing how upset the Pi Beta Theta men were by the incidents and the actions they've taken since does demonstrate their principles. The incident sparked an awareness movement on Wazoo's Pullman campus called Wake Up Wazoo. It has involved multiple protests and marches, as well as social media campaign to address diversity or lack of it in the university community. Sheriff said many Greek students have actively joined Wake Up Wazoo, which is in the process of becoming a registered student organization. I think they This thing's going crazy. It's doing this all on its own. I should have done hit that thing where it says view a basically a generic page, and I didn't do that. Oh well. I'm just gonna have to run and chase it all the time. I think they were much more educated than I bet I would have said before. I think that we're much more educated than I bet I would have said before. Wazoo Assistant Director for Fraternities and Sororities, Nicholas Hudson, said incidents within the Greek system garner so much attention because they are still members of the overall college student population, and because the community's history and because of the community's history, the stereotypes portrayed in Animal House have lessened throughout the years. But Hudson said there are still traditions being passed down without guidance. The Sigma Alpha Epsilon members of the University of Oklahoma, for example, reportedly learned the racist chant on a leadership cruise 4 years prior, and it was part of the chapter's culture. Hudson said what tends to happen is alumni will say, "We did it, you should too." Yep, exactly. Except it just gets stronger each time. It just gets more, it's kind of like, dare I say it, kind of like the whole thing with, the whole sexual thing going on with guys, the whole thing on the computers and all the internet and all that kind of stuff, that they just, it's not good enough anymore, because it doesn't, it doesn't fulfill them anymore. So they have to just keep getting more and more. And this is I find this with these guys. And then you got the testosterone running around in here too, and them egging each other on and being stupids, just dumb, showing their muscles. There are some alumni who are heavily involved in the chapters and others who are not, but alumni need to be the leaders in charge. We can direct students and push them to focus on social justice, but ultimately these organizations are private, and that's exactly the problem right there, is that they're run, from what I've learned, from what I've read, and just what I've seen, actually, and heard. I mean, I know nothing about these things until this whole thing, but is that you've got the alumni, the past, people that have gone there and that put money down for these houses, that actually donate and all this kind of stuff. And they're just giving these guys pats on the back. Oh yeah, good old, it's like, we did that when we were younger too, we never hurt anybody. Yeah, they're still alive and kicking, whatever. Well, that's not true. Some things stay with people whether they are gone from this world or not. I mean, there's some serious stuff. I mean, what these guys have done, what I've heard that they've done, is not okay. Not by any means, it's not okay. And just because they're in a goddamn fraternity, it's okay? Because it's what we've always done. It's a tradition. You gotta be kidding me. It's time to break that tradition. Time to literally to purge that town, and it just needs to be purged. UI Interfraternity Council's student Troy Levine, 22, a senior from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, said the individual chapters also need to be responsible for holding their members accountable and follow the guidance set by the overall governing bodies, like the Infraternity and the Panhellenic councils. I agree. And it just takes that one or two people with a bad idea to just spread things. Yep, true. Yeah. So timeline of Greek incidents. Recent timeline of Greek number of Greek organizations have been investigated, sanctioned, and disbanded this year as a result of reported incidents of hazing, sexual assault, racism, and alcohol-fueled behavior. Here are some of the highlights. Oh, Jesus, I didn't. February 19th, the University of Idaho Dean imposed sanctions on the Pi Phi Delta fraternity after investigating allegations of hazing during the prior week. A criminal investigation was initiated in the Moscow Police Department on March 6th and concluded with no criminal charges filed. The incident remains under review by the University's Greek Committee Standards Board. 21st, a member of Washington State's University Pi Phi Delta Theta fraternity allegedly made racist and sexist remarks to a woman attempting to attend a party at the chapter house. The man has been removed from the fraternity, and the incident is going through Wazoo student conduct process. March 9th. The National Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity shut down its University in Oklahoma chapter after discovering a video showing members singing a racist song. 2 of the students found to be leaders in the song were expelled. The 16th, a Facebook page allegedly used by members of the Kappa Theta Rho fraternity and Penn State to post photos of nude and partially nude women surfaced and resulted in the chapter's suspension. Police initiated an investigation in the allegation that reportedly include images of women asleep or passed out. That's just on Facebook? Oh man, anywhere but jeez. March 17th, the Sigma chapter and 5 members at the University of Houston were suspended for allegations of hazing that reportedly occurred in January. Investigations by the National Fraternity and the university's police department were initiated. The 18th of March, the Sigma Alpha Mu chapter at the University of Michigan was disbanded by the national organization after some of its members caused hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage by trashing 2 ski resorts during an alcohol-fueled weekend. April 24th, representative from the National Sigma Chi Epsilon fraternity visited Eastern Washington University as a part of an investigation into allegations of unspecified misconduct in its chapter in Cheney. On the 28th, the University of Florida closed its Zeta Beta Tau fraternity due following allegations that members were urinating on flags, vomiting off balconies, and drunkenly insulting and spitting on disabled military veterans at the... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Military veterans at a Panama City beach resort. You gotta be kidding me. The fraternity expelled 3 of its members prior to an overall shutdown. Wow. That's just... These are just stupid kids, man. That's just awful. Ugh. I mean, there's some of the things I've been reading about fraternities, you guys. Some of the things they've done. I mean, there's one I don't even know if I can read it on air. I don't even know if I can do it, but it involves like an ant, like a little rodent type thing, the cute kind, and it's just like, and that was in Texas. And it was just, and the guy died from it. So I mean, it was pretty bad. Anyway, so I'm gonna cut this down now. It's almost 30 minutes, and it'll take a good little while to upload. So there you have it. 2015, the Dean of Students, 2 months gone. Couldn't handle it. Kids were too. The other one that I can't find said his quote was that they give the fraternities too much power. That's what it said. And yeah, it's so true, right? Very much so. So, anyway, thanks for listening, you guys. Bye. Cute. The National Women's Fraternity to Ease. I love this. This is great. I'm going to link this in the description. I'm not going to get into this one right now.